Hello everyone, back to today's second video. So we've already done a video looking at weather next week to 10 days. It looks like we get some cold easterly winds coming along next week, especially in the middle and last stages of next week. If you want to know more about that, check out the video that's on the homepage. Just scroll down the page, but it's underneath the link as. This video is going to have a look at the GFS ensembles. We're going to see for the extended part of the GFS ensembles what they're showing, starting from the 20th of January, which is a week tomorrow, next Friday, and running through to the latter stages of the month. So, if you want to get on with that, just say about the ads. There's articles on all the pages. Have a browse, proceed, click through the links. If there's any articles that are interesting, you have the page website. Thanks very much for doing that. Just starting with the radar picture. So, the rain has turned to snow now across many southeast parts of the country. This is the radar picture from the weatheroutlook.com. If I show you the precipitation type, you can see there's a mix of rain and snow in there in the southeast. Still raining in the very far southeast. This snow will be pushing further southeastwards through the course of the evening. Overall, it's not settling, but on high ground, it might give a very slight covering. Further north of that, we've got snow showers in across Scotland and Northern Ireland. This band of showers here going to give a covering of snow to many central eastern parts of Scotland tonight. It'll be drifting down through the morning into northeastern and then eastern parts of England, running down the east side, giving snow showers for some of us. So the latest GFS update is the midday run. That's just come out. When I did the video this morning or early this afternoon, I showed you this ensemble graph which is showing quite a prolonged spell of cold weather, and I said we'd have a look at the GFS ensembles individually to see what they are all showing. So I'm going to start off with the control run of the GFS first one, and then we'll run through the other 20 members. We're starting off on the 20th of January, which is a week tomorrow. The control run of the GFS is run at a slightly lower resolution to the operational run, which is the main run of the GFS model, but it's at a bigger resolution to all the other ensemble members. So as I say, we're starting off on the 20th of January here, and the control run has us in an easterly wind. And this is backed up by tonight's operational run as well. They both want to bring easterly winds in for the end of next week. Will be a lot of dry weather with that, but it's dragging in very cold air from Central Europe. Let's run through, and we bring a very deep puddle of cold air across the south of the country there on the 22nd with the control room. That could well bring some snow in across southern and southeastern parts of England and Wales, possibly quite significant snow as well. Staying very cold up to the 24th with the wind remaining in from the east. So up to around 25th of January, it still looks very cold. There'd still be risk of snow. Daytime temperatures would be cold as well with night frost. Now, right at the very end, the controller of the GFS wants to bring a little bit of a change, wants to push up these southwest winds, which is milder right at the end of January. I won't worry too much about that. It's a very long way off, and these models do try to break down the blocking quite quickly. So what I want to do really with tonight's update is see how many of the members of GFS ensembles have us in this easterly at the end of next week. So that's the control run, which does do that. Let's have a look at ensemble member number 1. That has high pressure around the country through the end of next week into weekend, sort of next weekend, but not really with an easterly. So this one doesn't go all that easterly. It's just anticyclonic, where it's dry and cold, and then it's re-establishing the Atlantic from the west. So that one doesn't have us in easterly winds. This is ensemble member number 2. And this one has high pressure around the country, which it takes out to west and pulls winds into the north again. So again, no real easterly there with ensemble member number 2. Let's go through to ensemble member number 3. And on 20th of January, this one has high pressure to the southeast and low pressure up to the northwest. It just keeps lots of high pressure around the country until that pulls out to the west and brings down a northerly shot, quite a intense northerly shot of cold air coming down there with ensemble number 3 around the 25th, 26th of January. Ensemble number 4 has high pressure up to the northwest on the 20th of January, next Friday. That's got us in an east-northeasterly flow, and it's slack as well, so there'll be some really cold temperatures with that. Probably some snow in the east as well. We run through, and it stays cold up to the 23rd on 24th of January. Eventually the high pressure becomes centred more around the UK, and eventually, as we go to the end of the month, trying to re-establish that westerly flow once again. Ensemble member number 5 has us in an easterly there on the 20th of January, albeit fairly slack one. And then it's trying to bring down a northerly there around the 23rd, 24th of January. But what's happening actually is that the Atlantic is re-establishing. So as we go to the end of January, the westerlies are beginning to return. Ensemble member number 6 shows cold air coming down from the north and the northeast there around the 22nd of January. Quite a northeasterly coming into the southeast of the country, bringing some snow showers there. Otherwise, lots of high pressure. And we stay cold and mostly dry right the way up to the end of the month. This is 28th of January, still with that high pressure locked in across Scandinavia. Ensemble member number 7 shows that we have high pressure again to the northwest of the country, with the winds in from the east or the northeast running through 26th of January, 27th. Eventually we're establishing a westerly flow. There's a lot of cold air in there around the 23rd, 24th, 25th of January. The winds are in from the east. There would be snow in places as well. Ensemble member number 8 has us in an easterly wind with a risk of snow in the south and east on the 20th of January. And then it stays cold up to the 23rd. After that, 24th, we start to re-establish the Atlantic. So there's a little bit of a trend appearing that the Atlantic wants to come back right for the very end of the month. Ensemble member number 9, again, easterly winds there on the 20th of January at the end of next week. They'll be bitterly cold, dragging in chance of snow showers to the east. Then we turn winds to the north, possibly bring some snow showers into the northern part of the country, and then again go through to the end of the month. The westerlies are starting to come back, albeit fairly cold. Ensemble member number 10 has high pressure through the country at the end of next week, and there is a slack easterly flow, which will certainly be dragging in cold air from off the continental bit with a lot of dry weather, and that's just maintained through the run. Really stays dry and very cold up to the end of January with ensemble member number 10. Number 11 is bringing in easterly winds into the south on the 20th of January, and then low pressure attacks from the Atlantic, so it turns more unsettled through to the end of the month. Ensemble member number 12 is dragging in those easterly winds at the end of next week. Stays cold for quite a while, but we go through to the very end of January and the westerlies are coming back. Number 13 looks like that. Again, easterly winds at the end of next week. That's still a trend that got these easterlies in to the end of next week, possibly bringing snow showers to the south, and they'd be bringing very cold air as well. Stays cold right way through to the final week of January with ensemble member number 13. Even in the southeast, there's quite a bit of cold weather. Eventually, we get attacked from the north by that area of low pressure that's bringing more snow down from the northern part of the Atlantic. Number 14 is looking like this. Not really an easterly to start off with, but this low pressure sinks down across the country as we go through to 22nd. That turns the winds into the east on its own, and then high pressure builds in behind it. So that looks very wintry. There'll be heavy snow moving down with that area of low pressure, followed by lots of freezing cold weather under that ridge with ensemble member number 14. Number 15 looks very different for the end of next week. This one has us in a mild west-southwest. That's the first one that we've seen that's mild for the end of next week. All the others have been cold to the end of next week. And it's just staying generally quite mild and unsettled through with ensemble member 15. That's a very different one compared to anything we've seen so far. Number 16, cold, dry weather through the early part of next week, and that high pressure is maintained for a while, but as we go through towards the end of the month, we're starting to break that high pressure downs with ensemble member number 16 starting to move away to the south. There it goes, begins to turn colder from the north. Go through to number 17, and again lots of high pressure around the country. It just stays dry, frosty and cold really through to the end of January. Ensemble member 17. 18, bring those easterly winds in at the end of next week. Be bitterly cold. There is quite a cold pool there running across the south. That could bring some snow next weekend. Eventually, the westerlies are coming back at the very end of January. Number 19 and penultimately finds that at the end of next week, we've got high pressure out to west. We bring down that cold northerly wind. That could bring snow showers down across the country. And then again, right to the end of January, the westerlies are coming back. And then number 20 shows that with cold and frosty through to the end of next week. Those cold conditions maintain just about to the final week of the month, but right at the end, 28th of January, the westerlies are back in. So it looks like we've got a trend there for the westerlies to return right at the end of January. Now, the models will always try and re-establish westerlies, so won't worry too much about that. It's at the extended range of the GFS ensembles, even though it's fairly well modelled. Of course, we've had a couple of weeks of cold weather by that point, so you would expect the Atlantic to come back at some time. Coming back to the end of next week, there's still a lot of support for the idea that we're going to be cold at the end of next week with easterly winds. There'll be bitterly cold easterly winds as well, and there's certainly the risk of bringing some snow into the south and the east with those easterly winds at the end of next week. So you're going to have to keep an eye on where that's going. Beyond that, probably cold for several days after that, might turn it milder at the end of January. Right, that's all for now. JMA Friday tomorrow, having a look at the next month with Japanese CFS V2. That's all for now. Thanks.